Hi, today's chapter spotlight is Judges chapter 12, and we'll focus on a man by the name of Jephthah. Jephthah was a judge during this time when the children of Israel were turning away from the one true God to false gods, serving them through immorality and through human sacrifice. Jephthah was called a mighty warrior in chapter 11 of Judges and verse 1. He was a Gileadite. He lived in the land of Gilead. He was the son of a man by the name of Gilead, but his mother was a prostitute. As he grew older, his family grew to disdain him that he was the son of a prostitute and thrust him out of the house, saying that he wasn't worthy of the inheritance of his father because he was an illegitimate child. So he left the home and moved to the land of Tob. After a while, the Ammonites and the Gileadites were going to battle against each other. But now they needed him. He was a mighty warrior, remember, according to chapter 11 and verse 1. So they come to him for his help. Now, he finally agrees after they promised that he would be made a leader should he help them and they be victorious in the battle against the Ammonites. Before he leaves, he promises God, he makes a rash vow and promises him that he will sacrifice as a burnt offering the first thing that comes out of the front door of his house upon his return. So if he's victorious, returns home, the first thing that comes out of his house, he promises to sacrifice as a burnt offering. So he goes to battle against the Ammonites and is victorious. When he returns home, what does he find coming out of his front door? The very first thing is his one and only child, a daughter. He's very upset. He mourns, he rents his clothes, and explains to his daughter the rash vow that he made. His daughter complies, though, and asks that she be allowed to go to the mountains for 2 months and lament her virginity. Then she'll return home, and then he can complete the vow that he made to God. So we find, a rash vow that he made, and God didn't require that he make or complete this vow. I just want to point that out. So we find ourselves now in chapter 12. Now the Ephraimites are coming to him complaining that he didn't ask for their help in the battle against the Ammonites. Remember, they asked him to come, they asked for his help, he comes. Now they're complaining that he didn't ask for their help against the Ammonites. They were jealous, full of pride. For whatever reason, they were upset and complaining that he didn't ask for their help. He comes back to them with 4 responses. First, he says, I had to protect the land and the people. I had to do it. Secondly, he says, I did ask for your help, and you refused. Don't you remember I did ask you? Thirdly, he said it was very dangerous. I put my life on the line for this. And the fourth thing he does is he gives God the glory for the victory. Nevertheless, the Ephraimites and the men of Gilead now went to battle against each other. So at first it was against the Ammonites, now they're fighting each other. So the Gileadites ended up winning. 42,000 Ephraimites were slain during this time. So this was even after the rash vow that Jephthah had made to God concerning the burnt offering and his daughter. This was even after that rash vow. He was victorious in the battle against the Ephraimites. Jephthah judged Israel for 6 years after this, and chapter 12 mentions 3 other judges that also served in this chapter 12. So what lessons can we learn from Jephthah today? I think we can learn that we're not to make rash commitments, rash promises to God. We find in James 5:12 where God says, But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. And secondly, I think we need to remember that God can use us regardless of our background. Jephthah was the son of a prostitute, but God still used him to be victorious in these battles. God uses us in spite of our circumstances and our background. He uses us because of our circumstances and our backgrounds as well. We find Jephthah in Hebrews Hall of Faith. In Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 32, we find that he's mentioned there. He was a mighty warrior. God can use you too in spite of and because of your past. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day.